So I have something very real to talk about with you guys. This is actually really crazy. I just forgot all about this, and I was reminded a couple weeks ago when I was talking to someone from high school that's trying to get in the content creation. They reached out to me. The subject of Izzy Ocampo came up, and I had forgot all about this person. He is a serial killer that I went to high school with. Now, I did not really hang out with this guy in high school. I do remember seeing him around, we had like same lunch and stuff like that, and never really talked to him that much, or his friends. Him and his friends had their own little posse, but I just remember him being in high school with me, same graduating class, and we went to the recruiters with each other and joined boot camp and shit, right? It's just crazy. Imagine going to high school and then getting out and everything, and then years later, someone becomes a serial killer and like, I went to high school with that guy. I don't know exactly how to say his first name. It's Itzcoatl, but Izzy for short. So we're just going to call him Izzy Ocampo. So this guy, very quiet person in high school, had some good friends, really close friends. And he, I don't know, just kind of was very normal. It seemed normal to me, just like nothing about him from when I know him was anything weird. Like never would have thought, and I guess that's how it goes. These people, they kind of like merge into society and you never really know. Anyways, joins the Marines as a motor T. What that means is that's motor transport. So what he did was work on trucks and drive them and stuff for his time. And a lot of people, especially during this time, this is 2016. We were in the Iraq War. It's heating up in Afghanistan a little bit at the same time. And if you join the Marines or the military, especially the Marines, there's a good chance you're probably going to be deployed to Iraq. I think he may have, I don't know. I didn't join his unit. We just joined at the same time. I went to a different boot camp platoon. That was the last time I ever saw him in person, was like going to boot camp. But once we get to boot camp, everyone gets split up. And I never saw him again. Most people that join the Marines during this time, you're going to get deployed to Iraq. Now, whether or not you see combat is another discussion entirely, okay? I'm not saying it's not a dangerous job. There's a lot of dangers. You can get ambushed. You can get blown up by an IED. You can get sniped. There's still dangers, but the likelihood of that happening to you is low if you're not with a combat unit, okay? If you're motor T for infantry, then sure, those things might happen for you. But he wasn't. And it's a classic story of someone joining the military because they wanted to go kill bad guys and they didn't get a chance to. And now they come back. Now, there's a few different types of people in the military, and I hope I don't get too much heat from the military community. I was in the Marines, all right, 06, 2010, deployed in 2007, all right? Saw it all, know everything. Okay, so I'm just trying to be real for everyone here. Okay, guys, there are a lot of people that come back from the military and they lie about what they did because they didn't get to have the action like they saw in the movies or the video games they play and what they envisioned that they were going to go and be a fucking hero or something. And they come back and they just did a simple job. A lot of people will come back and lie about it. Some people will just be silent and keep you guessing, right? They'll just be super quiet and they won't, like, I don't want to talk about it. They still didn't do anything. So they keep you guessing. This guy didn't do any of those, and I wish he did. What he did instead, it was like, you know what? I didn't get the thrill of killing people in Iraq. So now that I'm back home and I'm out of the military, is a year after, is like I would say 2011 is when this started happening. What he started doing is killing homeless people. He would find weak by themselves homeless people at night with no one else around and stab them to death. During his killing spree, he killed a bunch of homeless people and some people that weren't homeless, which the story gets really dark there. And let's talk about that. So in high school, Izzy hung out with the same group of guys all throughout high school. And after he came back from the military, he kind of reconnected with those friends. And one of his friends, he would go over to his house all the time and hang out with his family. So, Izzy would hang out with those guys. And one day, Izzy wanted to go kill his best friend because there was some sort of simple disagreement. And Izzy, in his own mind, just like it got twisted and dark and whatever, and saw something as the end of their friendship. His best friend didn't think anything of it. He was like, okay, whatever, as normal people do. Izzy goes over to his best friend's house to go murder his best friend, who had just left, got in his car, was going to run some errands, doing something, right? So instead of killing his best friend, he kills his best friend's mom and little brother in their house, stabs them both to death. All right, one of them gets stabbed at the front door, a big pool of blood at the front door, and murders them and then takes off. And here's where it gets really screwed up. The cops, they thought that the brother that left was the murderer, and they went and found him on the road, arrested him, and he sat in jail for 3 months awaiting his trial for murder because they didn't know who did it. Eventually, they did find it out, and it was actually because of the best friend that's in jail, information he was seeing the news about these killings and stuff, and then put it out there saying, hey, I think this is the guy that killed my family. And eventually it was the truth came out. He was released from jail. But imagine having your family murdered and then you getting put in prison for it or jail for it, awaiting trial and finding out that it was your best friend that actually did it. That's just insane. So this is a really crazy story that I'm connected to in a small way just because I was in that graduating class. It was actually a pretty big graduating class, about 4,000 people. I was in a very big high school. You don't have that kind of a story, so it's something I really wanted to share with everybody. Eventually, this guy was caught. He was caught stabbing a homeless dude by a dumpster by a Safeway that's really close to my house. I used to go all the time, and somebody saw him, and they were like, hey, stop. And they started chasing him down. Civilian, brave man, chasing a dude that's murdering. And when you're the murderer, I would imagine you're probably going to you're not going to be like, oh, who do you, and go like murder the guy. No. So the murderer, Izzy, takes off. And the civilian dude calls the cops and he gives the description and the cops go and find him, arrest him, take him to jail. Caught him in the act, blood on his hands, bloody knife, all this stuff, right? So that's how he got caught. He got caught in the action and civilians chased his ass down, reported him to the cops, and the cops did the rest. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The worst part about this story, okay, is that before his trial, Izzy killed himself by swallowing a bunch of cleaning materials that he had been saving up and hiding in his cell. So the worst part is that justice never actually got to be served. So there's these homeless people that he murdered all had names. These are people that were known in the community. The last man that he killed was someone who hung out in that parking lot often, and all he wanted was some food here and there. Things like that didn't bother anybody. He just needed some food. And people accepted him as, hey, he's the homeless guy. He's cool. It's just part of our little area. Where I grew up, it's kind of like that. It's everyone's very nice. It's a very nice place. And there's, this is in Yorba Linda. I grew up in the city of Yorba Linda, and things like this don't happen. Murders don't really happen, and it's just really crazy. And the fact that justice for the families of these people, justice for the family of his best friend who is alone today, doesn't have his family, it never happened because this guy was a fucking pussy and he couldn't face his actions. Guys, I really appreciate you watching my new video today. I wanted to talk about this. It's a crazy thing that happened, and I felt like I need to share my thoughts on this. I forgot all about it. I remember when this happened, it was so crazy. I was online, on the internet all night looking up all these things, and it completely left my mind. I forgot about it until I reconnected with someone from high school, and here we are. And I'm at a point where I'm making a lot of videos on YouTube, and I just thought this would be the perfect thing to express something like this. And I'm just really glad that you guys watched till the very end. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.